Education Association.
Yeah, the double act.
At the end, there's a little book here which I've started. It's not finished because we haven't finished our training yet, but it just shows what we've done to date.
Thank you, Anne. Yeah, that was lovely, thank you. I'm Chris, and this is Yvonne. We're not kind of a double act, really. We have very different roles. I work for the Workers' Educational Association, which is known as the WEA, and it's my job to organise these courses, so to work with Andy and to work with all of you to decide what was needed, and then look at finding the best tutor to come along and do it. So Yvonne has been involved on the day-to-day level. I haven't been involved on that level. I just wanted to say a very brief word about who the WEA is, because unlike other colleges or adult learning organisations, we don't have a building. There's nowhere where you can go, like with Northbrook College, Portsay Community College, and say that's where the learning is. Our philosophy as an organisation has been to go out to where people are. And it's a very old organisation. It started in 1903, and it kind of grew up in partnership with the cooperative movement. And the reason for the organisation is, as it says, there were workers who were not getting educated because in those days you had to pay for education. There wasn't free education. So it was an organisation that started to employ tutors, and they went out. One of the first pieces of work they did was in Staffordshire, in the potteries, and they went out to the workplace and they ran classes on economics for the workers. And also at the time, there was a kind of prejudice of workers. They won't want to know about economics. They won't understand what that's all about, which this organisation didn't believe and has never believed. So that's kind of where we come from and what we're still trying to do today. We are a national organisation. We have about 110,000 learners each year. And we're divided into 9 different regions. The region we're in here is called the Southern region. And we have about 5,000 learners with us each year. Some of the courses that we do are paid for courses, but the paid for courses are decided by volunteers because we are a democratic organisation. So we have a voluntary side. So for example, there isn't we call them branches, where a group of volunteers come together. There isn't one in Southlanders. But there's one in Brighton and there's one in Worthing. And what happens there is a group of people who've been learning with us come together, and then they look at what people want to learn next year. So the idea is that those courses are always decided by the community, for the community. They're not decided by us. So they're responsive to local needs. But those courses, you have to pay to attend those courses unless you are on some form of benefits or you have a household income of below £15,000 a year. The other side of our work that I do is our community programme, and so we work with voluntary organisations and community organisations and schools, and we put on a wide variety of courses which again respond to what local people need. So we do literacy, we do numeracy, we do a lot of work around how you work with children, play skills with children, working in schools. We do a lot of work around English language for speakers of other language as well. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you want to know more about what the organisation does, we've got a website. It's www.wea.org. And I've got some handouts. They probably aren't enough for everybody, but I'll leave them there, and that's where you can find out. If you're looking for a course, do we do this in your area? You want to know, that's where you can find out. And just finally, we're just, being involved with the Learning Champions and having the money to do this from Sue, it's just been magic really, because it's been very difficult in recent years to do these kind of things that we want to do, because there's been so much emphasis from the government on getting people into skills, and getting people into training, getting people to have qualifications, which is really good, but there are other things that people want to do, and we haven't been able to always meet those needs because the money hasn't been there. So it's been a very welcome pot of money to do the kind of work we really feel and we know that it's worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to say I've really appreciated the opportunity to work with Southlanders over, well, certainly over the last few months with the Learning Champions course, but have been involved with Southlanders doing some training prior to that. And you know what? It's just fantastic for an area like such a vibrant community residence organisations in Southlanders, and it's been really special working with such an enthusiastic bunch of volunteers. Andy and Anne, in terms of the work that they do in setting their sort of getting the organisation going, but then there's all the active involvement of everybody else. And one of the things that I've been really struck by with the Learning Champions is that we're best able to support people in terms of thinking about the learning that they want to do if we've had an opportunity to think about some of the struggles that we've had in terms of our own experience of learning. And absolutely, it's been the case for the 4 sessions that we've had for the Community Learning Champions, that people have been really willing to do that. You know, and it's hard sometimes, kind of, as Anne was saying, you know, going back to some of the negative experiences that, you know, we've had about learning. And so my sense is that there's a much more confident, sure of themselves bunch of people in Southlanders who've done all that looking at themselves and are much more well placed now to be able to do that support of other people who are wanting to get more involved in learning. So well done, everybody, and I've really appreciated working with you.